Hey folks, Dave back here, and we're going to step away from the Apple football for a bit, and let's take a look at Digital Diamond Baseball version 12. And let me just get everything set up here so we can do this properly. What is a lot going on here? I was just going to kind of show you a couple things and then play a game of Apple baseball in it, but I think this deserves a decent first look here. So instead of just kind of skimming through it, let me go through what I saw. Mark did a video on it, so what you want to do is default to Mark's video, the creator of the game. He did a good video on it, but I'm going to show you some of the things that I found on here already. So let me get going on that, and I think we're all set to go. Let me just check, make sure that I sound good, because sometimes it messes up, but no, we should be good to go. All right, so I'm going to have to go to my full screen here and kind of do this here because my shortcuts aren't working. All right, so now here we are. All right, so here's the Digital Diamond version 12. It looks a lot like version 11. I was able to successfully bring in my 79 season, okay? So I just went into Restore a Backup and go into a version 11 folder. Okay, that's where you find it, and you bring in everything, and I was good. The only thing I had to do was I had to manually bring over all the player pictures into the version 12 player pictures folder. So far, that's the only snag I ran into. All right, but once I did that, all my pictures are in. So I'm going to click on 79. Oh, first let's start here. Okay, I got a whole laundry list of things to go over. So let's start right here at the main page. First thing you're going to see over here on the right is you can actually rename the libraries now, okay? So if you want, you can rename the library, and I think that's kind of cool. So if you want to call it something else, you could call it something else. That's fine. There's also some protection now, so you can't overwrite a library. And I'm not going to try it here and screw it up, but I did watch him do it. So if you wanted to call it 1979, it might say it already exists, call it something else. Okay? So there's some protections now for overwriting the library, also along with renaming the library. And again, if you want to bring in an old one, go to Restore a Backup. You'll have to go to your version 11 and bring that in, and you're good to go. So let me click on this because I've already brought this in. And as you can see, if I go to my season overview, everything's here. Again, the only thing I had to do was drag my players over into the new folder. So all the logos and everything are here, and things are looking pretty snazzy. Now, here's a couple of new things that you'll physically see or visually see. So let's click on Freddie Lynn. All right, so it's going to bring out the Freddie Lynn card. And it's going to show, his real life or his replay statistics and the whole bit. So, again, I'm pretty far along in this season of 1979. So he's got a lot of games played. So he's played 118 games this season in my replays. Again, I haven't played them all, but you know what I'm talking about. I've kind of bounced around. Let's do this. Click on this little award thing here, and it shows you his awards. So that's new if you want to check out his awards from his career. And if you click on this little arrow right here, it's going to bring up Freddie Lynn's baseball reference page. So I think that's kind of neat, is that it's going to go right to his page and, right from the game. So right from the game, you can click on those pages and get that done. That's kind of neat as well. This game is all about reports. There's a lot of reports additions in this game. I don't use the reports very much, but if you click on reports, you'll see here you have now awards. So you click on the view button, and you get all the awards here. You come back, go back to reports, and special events. It'll tell you some of the special events that happened. So you get some really neat things here in the reports, if that's your thing. Okay, I'm not a big reports guy for baseball, but that's all in here. What else is on my list? Okay, so let's go to, player editor. You can now clone a player. So let's just say you want to be Don Ossie. You copy that player, and I'm pretty sure you can clone him. So if you wanted to be Don Ossie and put your own name in there, you could do that. So now you can clone a player. That's one of the things that is on the list to do. What else do we got here? So all kinds of little things, but they're big things. You know what I mean? They're things that really kind of, even for me, I was kind of impressed with. Let's see here. So if I go to play a scheduled game, you can now undo a game. So you see this game here, you want to undo the game, you can undo that game. That's kind of interesting here, that it undoes an entire game. If you go to the box score, okay, you can now edit the summary. So you can add whatever you want in here, hi there, So I can add that and save that. So now that's in my box score. Cleveland's now 55 and 70. Hi there. Kind of neat. If you go to the scorecard, you can now click on something in here. So let's go to this ground out 4-3, and you can add a note to that. So if you want to, any kind of note that you had in the game, you can add that to the scorecard. So there's all kinds of different things in here that you can do if you enter your reports and you really get into the fine tuning of all that stuff here. A couple other things you can do. Go back here. Let's go to my team editor. Well, as you can see, you have Status Pro batters. Okay, so I'm going to click on the Status Pro batters. Please wait. Click on the Status Pro pitchers. Please wait. Now, if I go to my Digital Diamond 12 folders and go to my export and my cards, 79, here we are. I've already exported the Orioles and the Red Sox, but if I click on the Cubs, here's my batters. And there's your Status Pro cards in the PDF format, all ready to go. Kind of neat. I'm not a big Status Pro guy. I have played it in the game, but the idea that I could print out the cards and play it is kind of neat. And here's my pictures for the Cubs. And yeah. So you now have the ability to export the Status Pro pitchers and batters in this game. The basic ones, okay? The basic version, okay? And let me see over here. What else is in the game here now? So, again, I thought it was really neat that you could undo a game. You could check the box scores. You could edit some things in here. You could add some things. That's really kind of neat. Going down my list here. Scorecard notes, reports, awards, the baseball reference page. Oh, okay. Let's go to a game now. All right. So I'm gonna go play ball here. All right. And we're gonna play, continue, and see the lineups. Now, you can see here, now you can reorder the lineups now a lot faster than kind of playing around with it. So if you wanted Rupert to lead off, you put in a 1, right? And then put in 2. And now Rupert's leading off and Cruz is over here. All righty. Let's just say you wanted Cox to be batting 9th. And it's got to be batting 8th. There you go. And so that's a little bit easier than doing that too, So I thought that was kind of neat. What else was there on my list of things to talk about? The undo. Let's see here. Oh, supposedly what you can do is you can play. You don't have to simulate the whole day anymore. So if I wanted to come over here and play ball over here. So let's just say, because I just started this game here. Where am I? I just started the A's and the Indians. That's what I was going to play with APA Baseball. I was going to play that game here. If I wanted to play this whole series, I could play this game, go to the next day, and play the other game, and play the whole series without having to simulate the whole season, of the whole day. So let's just say I want to play this series, and I want to play the Mariners and the Tigers. But I don't want to have to, play this one, then play the Mariners game. I want to play all 3 A's and Indians. I can do that and go back and then play all 3 or 4 Mariners and Tigers games. I think that's really kind of neat. That you have the ability now to kind of play ahead, so to speak. There's also an option for minimal play-by-play in the game. And, like I say, playing the games out of order. So many different things in here that you can do and edit. So let's take a look at the game. So if I go to my my game here, there's a couple things in-game that's kind of neat. So you notice in the middle here, we have a little mini chart here. This is kind of neat. So this is, I think you're supposed to be able to change this too once the game gets going. So it's not just the Status Pro and it's not just that graph that was kind of weird. It gives you some little things in here to look at. It's a little different. I do like that. I do like that a lot. Also, you can ask the managers. Alrighty, so if you got something going on, now that's perfect for a guy like me who doesn't really know a lot about baseball. To ask the managers, like, hey, what do you suggest? That's perfect for a guy like me who just likes to kind of play and have some fun with it. So there's all kinds of things going on in this game, and I think that's about it that I can think of off the top of my head. Let me just kind of exit out of here. This looks kind of the same. It looks a little cleaner. Let's see. There's supposed to be this is for what, splits, I think. Alrighty, something like that. And it just looks overall just looks a little cleaner. It looks like it's all cleaned up. I do like that you can click on this and see the standings. I've always liked that. That's something I didn't know. That's something Mark had to show me because I didn't know that. But aside from that, the game screen looks a little bit the same. It looks a lot cleaner, I think. And there's so many different things going on in here, especially with the report. So I'm going to save and exit here. Alrighty. And there we go. Let's get back over here. And now let's come back to Studio B, if I will. There we go. And so a lot going on in this game. And you get a whole another 15 pages of codes to print out. And I know it's like, 15 pages of codes, that stinks. No, it doesn't stink. It's actually good because sometimes there's so many different things going on in the game that you need that. And here's a couple new things in version 12. Updated the error command so it supports runners getting thrown out when attempting extra bases on the error. So that's kind of cool because I've run into that. And it gives you some examples on what to use. R1X, with and specify who where the runner was thrown out. And you have the assist as well. So I do like that. Updated the pop-up command for double plays. Updated support for bunting with runners on first and third, and it added some season ticket shortcuts like Bloop 1B and Bloop 2B. So there's you got not all new codes, but you've added new codes to this. So there's a lot happening here. So let me just kind of recap here. I kind of went through that kind of quick, but I just want to kind of run through the visuals and then go back at it. So if you like reports, there's all kinds of new reports in this game. And you can export whatever ones you want. And I think you can export as HTML too, so it looks like a web page, which is kind of neat. You get your player awards that you can click on and check out. Each player, you can click right to their baseball reference page. That is really kind of neat. Let's see. We talked about the new codes here that I just showed you here in the manual, and you just you go to the folder that you installed the game, and there's the PDF right in the folder that you can print out for all your new codes. You can add scorecard notes and edit game summaries with some notes of your own. You saw what I did there in the video. I clicked on a ground ball, and if you want to add something to that, whatever spectacular play or whatever it is, you can add that to your notes. Again, that's really for more the baseball geeks. It really is, which I'm not really, but I can see how people would absolutely love that there. The export of the Status Pro basic cards, that has me intrigued. As a cards and dice player, I do like playing with cards. As you can see, I have my app of baseball cards here ready to go for a game I was going to play. So the idea that you can export the Status Pro basic cards is kind of neat. I do like that. You do have the Status Pro ratings too. That's one thing I forgot to show, is that when you're in the game, when you're in like your bench and stuff like that, and when you're clicking around at all the ratings, it does have the Status Pro ratings in there. So if you're a Status Pro player, they're all in there. That's kind of neat. I like how the new had the little mini reports in the middle of the game screen when you're playing, because if you're not using the Status Pro cards, that little graph there was kind of, I don't know, I didn't care for it. I usually blocked it out. I put something over it. But now you got a little game screen that shows upcoming games and some other stats. It's kind of neat. Ask the managers. I did like that. That's perfect for a guy like me. Ask the manager, what do you think I should do? And put in a picture, a pinch hit or something. So I like the fact that that's there to help out the newer players like me. The reorder of the lineup by just changing the number. I think that'll be a little bit faster for people instead of just kind of dragging around, which is kind of a pain in the neck. The undo a game feature. That's interesting. So if you play a game, you don't like it, go back and play it again. Or if you hit a button, sometimes I've hit a wrong button and I've finished the game. Oh, man, so I want to undo that. Yeah, I do like that. Again, inputting from version 11 was a breeze. just make sure you have your game exported or backed up, I should say. Back up your game from version 11, import, but you got to go into the version 11 folder. All right, so when you go to import from a backup, you need to go to the version 11 folder. That's very important because obviously there's nothing in version 12 folder because there's nothing backed up there. So that's where you would find it. You do have to drag over manually your player picks if you want to use that, but I found that when I imported from the backup, it brought in my team logos and my ballparks. So that's all set. I don't have to do that anymore. Let me see, what else do I have on my list here? I like the idea of playing games out of order. So if I wanted to play a couple of series, I wouldn't have to go and play, the Yankees, Red Sox, and then the Brewers, and, the Tigers. I could play all 3 Yankees, Red Sox games, then go back and play the other series. I do like that. Renaming of libraries is kind of neat, so you can rename it something a little bit different. So I can play, say 1979 APA or 1979 Strat if I'm playing that. The protection for overwriting libraries, I think that's pretty good too. That way there you're not overwriting something. And the clone of player is kind of neat. So that way there, if you want to put in a custom player for have a what if or some fun, I think that could be kind of neat too. So anyway, yeah, so that's kind of a first look at Digital Diamond version 12. A lot added to that. We need to get Mark on the show, and he can kind of go over it a little bit better than I did. But I just wanted to show you some of the things that I found. And if I can find it, and I'm not a baseball guy, then the baseball guys are going to love what's in there. You really are. So anyway, so that is that. And so I'm going to jump off here, and I'm going to be back on in a few minutes, and I'm going to try to set up a game here in APA Baseball using Digital Diamond version 12 as my companion, and let's see how Digital Diamond does version 12 compared to 11. Alrighty, so I'm going to jump out, and I'll be back in a few minutes. But again, I wanted to kind of give you guys a little rundown on some of the things that I found in Digital Diamond version 12. And I'm very happy with what I found. I really am. And it pleases the court. So I'm Dave. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in a bit. Again, this was a first look at Digital Diamond version 12.